Hello everyone, welcome to Alien Movement. This is Andrew Meadows, your host. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to apologize for last week. I did not do either one of my podcasts last week. It was just a crazy week with work and kids, and I postponed it, and then I wasn't able to get to it. But I'm going to try to keep a regular schedule. I'm planning on doing Mondays and Wednesdays as much as possible. I might do Monday and Thursday this week. Obviously, today is Monday, but I'll put out notices on Facebook and Twitter. So, some quick housekeeping, as I call it. You can find my website at www-alienmovement.org. Twitter is alienmovement1, as in the number 1. Facebook at alienmovement.org. You can find me on Spreaker, which is where you're probably listening right now. Just Alien Movement on Spreaker. I have a sponsorship website or account with Patreon. I have one sponsor right now, and I'm looking for more. The money I get is going to be used for some better equipment and possibly some get more to spend some money like on advertising to increase the exposure of the show, to get more people interested and more people spreading the word. That is the only purpose of this show, is to get the word out and get as many people as motivated as possible to help spread the word and talk about ancient aliens, the ancient alien theory, UFOs, and government cover-up of these visitations and the technology that we have found. That's really my main goal, is just to someday is to have the truth come out so that we can all see it and find out. I think we know a lot of what's happened, but to actually see it and have someone say, yeah, this happened and here it is. That's my goal for this whole show. So thank you for joining me. I started up a Tumblr account. I don't know anything about Tumblr. I just did it today. It's alienmovement.tumblr.com. And I also have a YouTube channel. You just search Alien Movement. You have to sort by channel, because if you just type Alien Movement on YouTube, you get a lot of stuff. But if you sort by channel, you should find Alien Movement pretty easily. So that's that. Tonight we're going to talk about aliens in ancient artwork. This is another one of my favorite topics. I posted a picture of a drawing, this is days ago, of these aliens. There's nothing else you could call them, but they're drawings from on like rock walls from hundreds or thousands of years ago in the southwest of the United States, done by Native Americans. And I had a lot of feedback and response on that. People wrote me, emailed me, and they were like, what is this picture? Where did it come from? And I told them what I just told you. It's from the Southwest, Native Americans. And one of the things I say about, that I've talked about before with artwork and sculptures and all these hieroglyphs and all these different things, the Nazca drawings and all these different things, is our ancestors were not crazy. They were just as smart as we are. They just didn't have the same technological reference. They drew things that they saw. And I'm sure they had fiction as well, but not all of this stuff was fiction. A lot of this stuff was people putting down on paper what they actually saw and trying to describe it as best as they could. So the picture, this is another thing I wanted to read this. So a guy named Nick on Facebook wrote me, and he said, he started off saying, had a passion for UFOs and even some of the ancient astronaut theories ever since I was about 13, when I saw something to this day that I can't explain. nice to see this new group. Excited to see it grow. So thank you very much, Nick. I really appreciate it. And I don't know why I just went off topic, but I wanted to remember to read that out. I'm going to try to read, at least one if there's a question or a comment. And it doesn't have to all be good comments. If somebody has a skeptical comment, I'll do my best to address it. I think I'm pretty good at explaining my stance to a skeptic, why I believe what I believe. And I think that in many cases that person might say, okay, well, I understand where you're coming from. I don't agree with you, but at least I understand where you're coming from. Or maybe they'll say, hey, that's a great point. I never thought of it that way. You've probably heard me say that many times during my first episode. This is episode number 6, by the way, so I'm very excited. But I've said that before. Hopefully, all of us as like warriors out in the field in the alien movement is trying to explain things to people where they say, wow, I never thought of it that way. That's a great point. And so you'll hear me say that. There are certain themes or things that I'll repeat, and I know that I'm repeating them, so I want you to know I'm not just repeating things and you say, oh my gosh, he said this 3 times. I know that I'm repeating it, and I want to continue to repeat it because that's how we spread the word, and that's how we get people listening, is repeating good points over and over again. I'm going to be going to the Green Turtle in Fairfax, Virginia on Saturday from 12 to 3:30. There is a MUFON meeting. It'll be my first one. I'm so excited about it. And obviously I'm just a newcomer. I'm just going to be sitting in the back and listening and hopefully meet some people and whatever. But if you are in Northern Virginia, you should come out. It's very interesting. I can't even imagine what all is going to happen, but I'm really excited about it. So, back to the topic. So, I'm going to talk about aliens and UFOs in ancient artwork. This is a big Ancient Alien TV show theme. If you watch Ancient Aliens like I do, I've seen every episode, you'll see a lot of the pictures I'm going to talk about tonight. And I just have, there are 12 in this link I'm about to send out, but the first one is of the devil talking to like the Pope. Has nothing to do with UFOs or aliens, but the rest of them are pretty good. So just bear with me with that first photo. It's like this devil, and he's got like a face on his butt. I don't even know what it is, but it's silly. So I'm posting this right now. It's a link. I'm posting it on Facebook. And then I'm going to post it on Twitter. So Twitter says what's happening, and I say this is what's happening. Bam. Okay, so throughout history, including cavemen doing drawings in caves, there have been drawings and pictures and sculptures of these strange creatures with antennae and helmets and suits like space suits with breathing apparatuses. It's incredible, and so this is just one of many. I encourage you to do your own research. I just typed in aliens in ancient artwork, which is the title of my show, and I found so much stuff. I mean, it's incredible. And this one was cool because it was a single link I could send out, and there were 12 pictures that we could go through quickly tonight. So again, if you got the link, it's blaster.com, and then it has date, and then it says ancient paintings containing surprising evidence aliens. So if you open that up, or if you're going to do this later, fine. But I'm going to start going through it. Okay, so the first one is a painting of Saint Wolfgang talking to the devil, and the devil has a face on his butt. And I look up in the sky. I don't see anything in the sky, so I don't know what this picture's about. So let's go to picture number 2. Now, this is the baptism of Christ. It's a painting from 1710. And you can see it's a very typical biblical type painting. A bunch of people sitting around. They're wearing the clothing of the time. And down below is obviously John the Baptist. I'm assuming, because if it's the baptism of Christ, it was John the Baptist who baptized him. If you look up in the sky, bam, it's a flying saucer. There's nothing else you could possibly say it is, unless you're going to say somebody threw a frisbee across the sky. It's a flying saucer with beams of light coming out. This is a painting that was painted in 1710. Another thing I wanted to say really quickly is, if you remember, like the Da Vinci Code, Leonardo da Vinci, they said he put a lot of hidden things in his work because of at the time of his life was the Spanish Inquisition, and the Catholic Church was in full power. And if you talked of aliens or UFOs, you could literally be thrown in prison or even killed, put to death, burned at the stake. So they say Leonardo da Vinci put a lot of hidden stuff in his works, and a lot of the paintings we're going to look at tonight. If you were back in 1522 and the church commissioned you to draw this painting of the Virgin Mary, and you drew it, you'd do something more subtle. This one's not subtle. This is a flying saucer with beams of light, but then in modern times, we can look at this and we can zoom in and say, wow, what is this? And at the time, if the church had said, hey, what's this thing up in the sky? The artist could have said, oh, that's just a cloud, and they'd be like, okay. But they couldn't say it's a flying saucer because they'd get thrown in jail. Anyway, so this is the first one. Pretty cool flying saucer beaming light down on the baptism of Christ. Next, this is the drawing from Nazca. I really like this. This isn't really ancient artwork, but it's a massive drawing on the side of a mountain of some dude. It certainly doesn't look like a human. It's a humanoid, pointing or waving at the sky. The thing about Nazca is people are saying that these things were trying the quote-unquote gods from outer space who visited them and then went away. They were trying to encourage them to return with these massive drawings that can only be seen from the air, which they didn't have flight at the time, at least not that we know of. So that's this one. The next one, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what this is. It's an Egyptian guy holding what looks like a bird, a duck, a goose. I don't know what this is, but it says a caped alien is apparently offered some sort of live fowl. I don't see the caped. I guess what they're saying is these big black eyes. This is the alien. Maybe that is. I didn't really see that when I reviewed this before my show tonight. This isn't the most compelling. There are other Egyptian hieroglyphs, which I'll post one of my favorites. It's got like an Apache attack helicopter looking thing. It's got a spaceship, like a flying saucer. It's got, it looks like a land speeder from Star Wars, Luke Skywalker's land speeder. But they could have chosen a better one. Oh, now I see. Okay, so the Egyptian is holding a goose or something, and he's offering it to this guy to the left. But if you look to the right, it's been zoomed in on or something, and that's a little more compelling. But that's very interesting. I apologize. I didn't really notice that when I first went through this before my show. And then there's a picture of the magicians. There's this girl floating. No, I'm just kidding. It's an advertisement. Next. Okay, this is one of the ones I was talking about. Now, this painting is from 1486. This is back at the height of the Catholic Church, the height of power.